Okay, I'm sure we'll have some folks shuffling in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started to honor all of you that showed up on time. Happy Thursday to everybody. We are on the verge of a 3-day weekend, and I know that probably not everybody on this call gets to take advantage of that, but I plan on it. We are on behalf of the whole team here at Clients First Business Solutions. I would like to welcome you to our latest webinar and thank you for taking your time to join us for our ProMRO demo. My name is Bob Turner. I am a part of the sales team here at Clients First and ProMRO, and I will be introducing, or will introduce right now, Micah Mitchell. And Micah has over 20 years experience in the ERP realm, and she is a key member of our ProMRO team. She's not only a project manager, but she's involved in pretty much every part of our implementation process. So if you do at some point end up joining us, you'll get to know Micah very well. You want to say hi, Micah?
Hi, everyone.
Ah, see, there she is. Clients First Business Solutions is who we are. We are the creators of ProMRO software. And just a little background, I am not the type of person that will read a PowerPoint presentation to you. So you can see on the screen, we do have 6 offices. We've got over 300 clients that we currently support. And we are a value-added reseller and work with Acumatica Cloud ERP. We noticed in this channel, we've got, over 20 years working in the aviation vertical. And we have heard from our clients that there isn't a solution out there that really is one platform for everything. So what we did is, with our experience, we built out ProMRO on top of Acumatica Cloud ERP, which happens to be the it is the best technology out there in the small to mid-size ERP market. And what that enables us to do is give you one location to manage your whole business, not just the ProMRO portion where we are assigning projects, but also finances and inventory and everything else. That is the goal, is to have one location to go to for everything. Acumatica is written on the latest technology, very flexible, very scalable. And the beauty of Acumatica and ProMRO is that it will adapt to your business processes and not the other way around, which is what we hear with a lot of the competitors out there. It does work on any device that will connect to the internet. And we are very flexible on how it's deployed. You can have a SaaS solution hosted by Amazon Web Services, or you can have it on your own servers. It's entirely up to you. Once again, I'm not going to read, but you will see that there are a lot of features inside of ProMRO that make it very usable. Acumatica was voted in the last 6 years the #1 in usability with ERP solutions. So it translates really well. Your staff that is going to be adopting the new ERP or the new software solution really will have an easy time with using the user interface of Acumatica, and you'll see that when Micah gets in and shows her demo. So this is a full-blown ERP solution. So ProMRO is just one extension. There are other modules available. We do manufacturing, e-commerce. You can see all the above. Expense management, everything designed to be in one location, so you can go to one place for one version of the truth. There are several benefits of ProMRO. It's very flexible, as I said. Fast customer lookup, shop app for the time and issue tracking tooling, just to mention a few. Stay current with the ease of code upgrades, even with customization. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I know everybody's not here to listen to me. They are here to listen to Micah. So STS is one of our bigger clients that's currently running Acumatica ProMRO. Rob Wire is a VP of IT there, and this is a quote by him. They've had great success with it, and we continue to build out to a lot of their requests, and we're very responsive to clients. This is our team. Why choose us? We guarantee our work. We are, as I mentioned, we have deep knowledge and experience in the not only manufacturing job shop verticals, but in ProMRO working with aircraft maintenance companies. The beauty when you're looking at a new solution, there are actually two decisions you need to make. You need to select which is going to be the right technology for you, with regards to which ERP solution. And then the other decision a lot of people don't focus on is the group or the partner that you're going to choose to help you do the implementation. Clients First has deep experience in this area, and we've got many clients that we work with, and this is gaining a lot of momentum right now because of all the changes in the world and the business world. Everybody's having to go more to a digital solution, and that's what Acumatica's got you prepared for the future. During the presentation, oh geez, there we go. Sorry, I had a blank screen. During the presentation, there is a little chat box down at the bottom of your screen. Please feel free to enter any questions or clarifications in there, and we will address them at the end of the presentation. We do like to hear feedback, and this is the solution. What Micah's going to show you, once again, this is a flexible solution. She's going to show you one way of doing it, but there are many ways, and we can adapt this technology to work with your way of business. With that being said, I am going to hit stop share right now, Micah, and turn this over to you. Are you ready?
I am ready, Bob.
All right, here you go.
All right, so hi everyone, I'm Micah, and I'm here to do a quick overview of ProMRO and the kiosk. As Bob mentioned, ProMRO is part of a full ERP solution, including CRM, time and expenses, finance, work orders, payables, receivables, purchasing, etc. ProMRO is tailored to MROs to help more easily create quotes and work orders to help track work order costs. So by streamlining the estimating to work order creation and creating a real-time connection from the shop floor to accounting. So today we're going to review the kiosk and other exciting features. Some of the benefits we're going to kind of go over during this demo are control of costs and spend, because you see real-time information directly from the shop floor. Speeding up invoicing, because all of the information has been entered all along the way. So all you have to do when you go to invoice, it's all at your fingertips, it's all there. You'll notice increased accuracy because you only have to enter information once and it flows all the way through the system. Entering corrective actions, automated substitutions, pick lists and shortage sheets, ATA chapters and subchapter references, real-time updates to work orders and shop floor from the shop floor, supplemental parts, utilizing inherent document management to attach FAA and other required documents like material safety data sheets and certificates of conformance, automatically printing 8130s when shipping a sales order. Other forms can be added as required. That's just one that we have in already. Real-time profit tracking on work orders with the balances tab. All of this and more in one easy to use app that I'm going to show you right now. So just keep in mind that we'll be showing lots of different work order functions throughout the presentation. So that's a lot of hats. I'm going to be looking at sales, estimating, purchasing, and shop floor. That's a lot of hats. But your users don't have to wear so many hats or see so many options, because security roles can be set up so they have only access to the screens they need to do their work. So I'm going to start out with the sales dashboard. I'm going to show some of the typical processes for day-to-day operations of an MRO. These are not all the capabilities of ProMRO, but it's basically a day in the life of. So here's an example of a sales dashboard. By utilizing dashboards, users can work all their tasks throughout the day and receive up to the minute live information. So basically everything is in one place with their dashboard. We can have tiles that represent overdue shipments or project invoices that are pending, any estimates that are pending work. Number of estimates by division, so you can see how your divisions are doing, and customers past due. We can also work our pipeline from a dashboard if we want to, enter new equipment or opportunities. Basically, any of the work that you do throughout the day can be added to a dashboard so you can easily see it. And dashboards are interactive, they're not just pretty. We also have favorites. So if you have any favorites, you can put a star by them and they will populate in your favorites area. And there is a system-wide search, which is amazing. I love using the system-wide search because all you have to do is type it in and Acumatica will find it for you. So you don't have to remember where everything is. You can just simply type it in and find it. So I've been working on, as a salesperson, I've been working on an avionics estimate. So I'll just click onto this tile and then I can see all the estimates that are currently on hold that I've been working on. And I can click right into that estimate and open it up and do any more work that I need to do, see any notes and files that I've already attached, and just generally work on this estimate. So another thing that that happens quite often is our customers might provide us with task cards via Excel for their check or their repair. In ProMRO, you can upload those task cards and then you can use them on your quotes and work orders. So if we were going to create a quote or a work order for 1,000 task cards, we could add them to the system via an import and then add them to a task card package so that we can easily pull that into a quote or a work order. I've preloaded some task cards into the system and I've created a task card package here. So as you can see, it's very simple. The task card package will include each task card that makes up the repair. So if you have 1,000 cards, all of those can be listed here. You would see your revenue, your total revenue and costs if all of that is in the system. You can also see manufacturer and all of the margins and everything in this task card package, which can be used over and over again. Now, task cards are made up of the revenue budget. So each line is a task card and they can contain a revenue budget and any costs. And the costs budget can be made up of labor, materials, subcontracting, and any other expenses. So once you have your task cards uploaded and your task card package built, then you can easily create a quote, or you can go directly to a work order for an aircraft or a fleet of aircraft. So we're going to start with a program, which is a quote, a way to do a quote. And you can see here that we have programs. We can see which programs we've won already, which programs are in work, and we can see the manufacturer model for all of those programs and any total sales and costs. So we have an easy overview to see where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and open this one that I had in work. And here we can see our business account. So that would be our customer or our prospect, the manufacturer and the model. So we can pull that information in. We also have notes that we can add. So the customer is ready to start sending us aircraft as soon as we get them this quote. We can also add files throughout ProMRO. So here we see we have a picture of an Airbus. Then also we can add files and notes anywhere that you see the attachment or the note. So everywhere throughout Acumatica. On the program, we have number of aircraft. So you can create a program or estimate. It's the same thing, but you can create one for one aircraft or many aircraft. It's up to you depending upon how you use it. So for this one, I'm going to create it for 10 aircraft. So the fleet, they're going to send us a fleet of 10 aircraft to work on to do this nav upgrade. So now that as the salesperson, I kind of entered some data that I collected from the customer. And of course, again, it depends upon your business processes as to how you would do this, but I'm going to put on my sales estimating or my estimating hat now. Basically, the salesperson can collect all the data and have it entered into the system. Then the estimator can grab the shop estimate and add the task cards. Task cards can be added one at a time, or they can be added as the package or a combination of the two. So let's add the package that we created earlier. And to add all of the task cards that are in that package, all I have to do is select the package, add and close. And it's going to add all of those task cards to this shop estimate. And for each task card, you can see, once I stopped thinking, okay, so you can see for each task card, there's a revenue budget. If you have a revenue budget, that's not needed. And then cost budget. The cost budget, again, can include any expenses, labor, materials, and subcontracting. The cost budget also can have work scope lines. And I think, let's see, yep. So the work scope lines are just a way to further break down the work, the hours that you have allocated to this budget. You can also tweak as you go. So if you've uploaded the task cards, you probably don't want to tweak them here, but if you needed to, you could actually change quantities or number of hours or anything like that on this shop estimate as you're working with it. You can also add, again, attachments and notes here. So once I'm happy with my estimate, my shop estimate, I can go ahead and take it off a hold and release it back to the program so that the salesperson gets notified and can send it to the customer. So let's go ahead and print our quote. And the quote can be printed, it can be emailed, it can be exported, whatever you need to do. So here's our quote, which includes all of our services. And our customer is super happy with that quote and they are ready to go. So once they approve the quote, we're going to go ahead and mark that as 1. And then we're going to say they want to accept all the services. They don't have to accept all the services, but all of the services that we mark as selected are the items or task cards that are going to be promoted to the work order. So now once we've got all of this ready, all we have to do to create a work order for one aircraft, 1 of 10, is click Release Shop Estimate. And then here we can, basically what's going to happen here is when we release this to the work order, this is going to either update a customer aircraft already in the system with this work order information so that we have an audit history of all the work orders that we've worked on for this aircraft, or it's going to add a new customer aircraft to start tracking all the work orders that we've worked on for the aircraft. So either way, you're going to add a customer aircraft or the information on this to a customer aircraft listing. So let's go ahead and add a serial number and then add a tail number and registration. Then we're going to release this program, which is going to create a work order. Once we have the work order created, it's going to actually include everything that we entered on the program. So the tasks come through to the work order. So these are all the task cards that we had identified. All of the revenue budgets, if there were any on that, come through, and the cost budget comes through. So we have a work order and we're ready to go. And we can see that the aircraft information was generated automatically from the system. And if we open that aircraft, then we can see that this work order is connected. So we can go to this, anywhere that you see a hyperlink, you can go to in Acumatica. So now that we've got an idea of, we've got our work order, we can actually go ahead and work on it. So once the work order is created, the mechanics can clock into the specific tasks on the work order. They can also add parts and add their time to the work order, all via the kiosk. So the mechanics and the inspectors don't have to see all of this information. They have a very an easier version to use. So basically, I'm going to open, actually, I'm going to go ahead and print a task card first. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I sometimes do that, but so I'm going to go ahead and print a task card so that we can work on that task card. 1 second. So in Acumatica, I can just type in my work order. So actually, I think I want to type in 178 so that you can see 179, sorry about that, 179, so that you can see some of the information that we've entered. So I can select the tasks that I want to print and run the report. And then here's our routine card. So the routine card has the task number. It has the work order number, a barcode so that you can scan that in. It also shows the customer, if there was a generating item, who it was raised by, if I had that information in here. Also ATA chapter and zone and task type, aircraft model and manufacturer, and then what needs to be done. So if we look down a little further, we'll see one that actually has some of those work scope lines, so you know exactly how many hours you should be spending on each task as well. So the task card can be printed. And then we can use this task card to log into tasks on the kiosk. Now, ProMRO, again, ProMRO is flexible. So if you're paperless, you don't have to print a task card. Or if you needed to scan barcodes, you could print a task card. Or if you wanted to hand key information to the kiosk, you can do that too. ProMRO supports it. So I just wanted to go over that task card before we switch over to the kiosk. So 1 second, let me get my other window. Okay, so here's the kiosk. And on the kiosk, I can either scan my badge in or I can key it in. I'm going to log in as a mechanic. And the kiosk can be accessed from any internet connected device, just like Acumatica. Now, if I enter I can scan task cards in from the task card that I had, the barcode on the task card. I can type them in here, or I can search by tail number. So if I search by tail number, you're going to see a list of all the tasks for the aircraft. So here's the aircraft that I'm working on. If I open that, I can see all the list of tasks. I can see the tasks that are active and what the requirement is. So for example, here's an active one, here's one that's at status inspection, and here's a description. There's one for supervisor, and if there was, here's the description for that one. So there's, you can see all of the statuses. So I'm gonna go ahead and log into an active task card. And you can clock into multiple or log into multiple. Basically, what happens is when you log in Acumatica, it's going to clock you in. So it's going to start keeping track of your time, and it can keep track of time on multiple tasks. So we're going to go ahead and look at our task list, and we've got one on our task list. I'm going to open the task card, and you can see here the original squawk or repair. If there was a corrective action, you would see that here. You can also see the status. From here, we can order parts. So let's go ahead and look at our parts list. If there is parts on this task, they would be listed here. If not, then we can look parts up. And say we wanted to add this bolt to our request, we can go ahead and add 10 of those, and we want those AOG, so we need them by today, and set our quantity. So now that's added that part to our task list. And if a part is not in Acumatica and it can't find it, then we can also do a part not found item request. So that'll bring in that inventory ID that I entered and the description. And then we can do our parts. And then depending upon what your processes are, this can go through purchasing for them to review and make sure that the part has not been isn't already in the system and somebody just miskeyed, or they can approve the part for adding to the system. It adds the inventory, but it doesn't let the people order it until after it's reviewed. But it depends on your processes. Again, Acumatica is very flexible. So basically, now we've added a couple of parts, and it's also showing us, sorry, I don't know why that won't go away, but it's also showing us if we have any on hand in our warehouses, or if you are bringing in clients' stock, it can show that as well. So there's lots of information here that is at your fingertips. So once we order our parts, I'm going to go ahead and sign out as the mechanic, because I'm done with this, and I'm going to sign in as an inspector so that we can see a little bit more. So now I'm going to look for my aircraft again. It's a little faster when you can barcode scan things, but so I don't have that at home though, sorry. So now I've got inspection tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and clock into a couple of these inspection tasks. And as I'm doing this, as mechanics are clocking in, as inspectors are clocking in, all of this information is updated in Acumatica. So everything is live. So from here, I can go ahead and add a corrective action. So if I needed to add a corrective action, I can just type it in here. Or if I wanted to be a little, I could add something else, but basically this gives you an idea. And then I can add that here and then I can stop work. But I also want to show you that I can add a non-routine from here. So basically this is a routine task card. If I needed to add a non-routine for a repair that I found, you know, something that I found while I was doing the original repair, I can add that directly from the kiosk too. And then I can select my ATA chapters and my subchapter. Oh, I don't have a subchapter for that one. I clicked on the wrong one. Hold on. Let me click a different one. Sometimes I get click happy here. And then my zone. And then also if I have any other items that I need to track. And once I enter that information, I save that non-routine task, and that non-routine task gets populated in Acumatica, and it can either go through an approval workflow, or it can just populate directly on the project, depending upon your requirements. So now that I've done a couple of items for that part, I also want to show you that as the inspector, I can do a rejection. So I can reject it directly from here. And when I enter this information, that's going to update Acumatica again. And I can also do inspection complete. So if they've made the corrective action and they've done the repair correctly, then I can go ahead and say, hey, this inspection is complete. And then that's going to update Acumatica as well. So now that we've explored the kiosk, I'm going to go ahead and go back to Acumatica and refresh. So let's go look at the work order so that we can see some of those transactions that we just worked on. All right, and that was work order 154. So I'm going to go ahead and just type 154 over here, and you can see how easy it is to filter and open that. And when I click on the tasks tab, the work order is the umbrella for capturing all the costs and activity that's occurred while doing the repair, so that you can invoice your customer. And here, I know it looks a little bit busy, but basically you've got your task number, and then you've got your corrective actions. So the corrective actions that we entered here. So you can easily see that. You also have a button here, so you can see it in a little bit different way. You can also see the reject, that it was rejected, and the reject reason. You can also see the statuses, and statuses can be set up to either be automated. So depending upon who signs in, and if they mark it the work complete, it can move from status to status automatically, or they can be manually done. So it's up to you and your business processes. And then there's a lot more information here, but basically just know that Acumatica is capturing and tracking all of the information and data that you've been entering into the kiosk. We can also see the routine task. So anything that was created in the kiosk that is a non-routine task card is going to be linked to the parent task. So you can see the numbering sequences are a little bit different for the non-routines, and they are linked to a parent task. All right, so that's about all I'm going to cover on the tasks part, but the work order is made up of a lot of different things. We've already looked at the revenue budget and the cost budget. We also have a balances tab, which is, excuse me, like a mini P&L for the whole work order, where you can see any WIP. So if you have anything in WIP, it'll show here. You have your revenue, so you'll see what you've billed and what is pending billing. Your labor transactions, you can actually, this is your totals of your actual and your committed, but you can also view any of your transactions here. And then you also have your material for your project. So if you had any of the material that you had actually issued to this project, then it would show up here, and you can see there's an actual amount here. And then your performance over here, so it gives you a good overview of where you're at with this work order. If you had subcontracting or any other expenses, though, which those would show up here too. Then we also have up here, we have unserviceable parts. So if you are processing parts that you've either received from your customer or that you have repaired and they're not, they're bad. This one just says bad, but basically they need to be sent out for overhaul or sent back to your customer. You can receive those in and then process them and keep track of the serial number so that you have that identified as a bad serial number and you know exactly where it is and what's going on with it. We also have the aircraft information tab where you can track your delivery date, your induction date, your planned RTS, and actual RTS, and all that information. And we have a tooling tab, and tooling is pretty cool because basically you have all of the references for any tools that have ever been checked into this work order and been used on this aircraft. And if you can set your statuses up so that if your tools you have any tools checked out, that you can't move past a certain status if there's tools checked out. So you are not going to leave any tools on the aircraft accidentally. They have to be accounted for. So once you check those back in, then the tasks can proceed accordingly. But if they're checked out, it will stop you. Then we have the item requirements tab. The item requirements is where when we first set up our task cards in the beginning, if there were materials on those task cards, they would populate on this item requirements tab. And then when we were working in the kiosk, we had entered a part called new bolt, and it's actually populated here too. So basically, what happens is this item requirements tab gets populated with all of these parts that are required for this repair. And you can work on this from here. So you could actually view availability from here. You can release them to a purchase order from here or requisition. You can release, basically update inventory from here, or go through item request, which is basically a pick list. So you can do a lot from here. This can also be automated, so it can do all of that for you, depending upon what your processes are. You can also see here that, if you have substitution items, that they can be allowed here and can be processed directly from here. So you have all of this information at your fingertips. So, and then once those items are entered here, they can be ordered on purchase order, like I was talking about. You can also work them from your shortage sheet, and I'll go ahead and show you the shortage sheet just to kind of close up the loop. But basically, the shortage sheet shows all of the items that are required, and you can have it highlight in red if they're late, like this. And another great feature is that you can work via a side panel. So you have all the detail here, but you can go ahead and review where that requirement came from on a side panel, and then also order it using this little shopping cart. I wasn't very patient there, but basically you can view where the information is from here and then order it here. So you have all of that information right at your fingertips, and it makes it a lot easier to use. And then we're going to go back to our favorites, and we are going to kind of close out with the MRO engineering dashboard. And dashboards, again, can be set up in different ways for different things. This one is showing the work order invoices pending. So once a project or is closed or ready for invoicing, it could show up on a dashboard. Or projects that are over budget, work orders that are over budget, you can have those populate on a dashboard. So you can have this information at your fingertips at all times. If you have late return to service dates, you can have that populate on a dashboard, or upcoming return to service dates, you can have that populate on a dashboard. So there's so many possibilities for making work easier using dashboards, using business events, which I didn't even talk about, but business events basically would email you or update you if there were invoices pending. So there's lots of different ways to work, so many possibilities with ProMRO. And I know I sped through that and it was really fast, but that's all I'm going to cover today. Hopefully everybody's as excited about ProMRO as I am. I appreciate y'all's time, and I'm going to hand this back over to Bob.
Actually, if you don't mind just leaving your screen up, Micah.
Oh, yeah,
got
sure.
a couple of topics to cover. I know we just put out that we do have integrations with parts catalogs for folks that are either purchasing or selling their inventory.
Yeah, we have one with PartSpace.
One with PartSpace, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I want everybody to be aware of that. Just so everybody knows, every now and then Nancy or Micah gets a little complacent, so we give her a task of showing everything in 40 minutes. And I think Micah did a great job.
Well, I didn't show everything, but I tried.
Well, and that's my point, Micah. I mean, would you agree? I mean, there is so much more. This really should be a 3-hour demo, but not a lot of people check in for lunch for 3 hours.
Bob, it's so powerful what you can do, and any information you put in here, you can get out. And I didn't even cover reporting, but you can put it in, you can get it out, and that's super important as well.
Right. You showed the kiosk. So with the kiosk, I just kind of wanted to be clear, that's going to be used on the shop floor, and that could be on any device.
Yeah.
And that is all those folks see. They don't see all this other stuff that the rest of us behind the scenes are seeing.
Right. And even the people behind the scenes don't have to see all of this. So, if I'm not working with payables, that you have a role that you're assigned to, and you wouldn't see payables, right? But yes, the kiosk just makes it a lot easier. The buttons are big because, if you're working on an iPad, you just want to see what's important to you and be able to just press a button and move on with your day. Those guys are so busy on the shop floor, and they're working on so many things. And, you can do it multiple ways. You can either, have an iPad that you carry around with you, or if there's one computer on the shop that you scan into 5 task cards, then you go up on the aircraft, work those task cards, then come back downstairs and log out. There's ways that the system can take the time that was entered and parse it over those 5 task cards, depending upon what the original budget was. So super smart system. There's so much that you can do with it.
Well, I love that visualization with the pad. An aircraft's a big piece of equipment to work on. So as they work on one side, go to the other wing. I mean, that thing goes with you. You don't have to keep going back to a desktop and do anything like that. As we're kind of wrapping up, are there any questions from the group? Remember, there is that little chat button at the bottom of your screen. Please feel free, and I'll go ahead and read them out right now to Micah, so we can get answers while we do have her. She's one of the busier people in our company.
I hope I can give you answers.
And also remember, Acumatica does feature, it's not a per user license structure. So the way Acumatica is designed, and ProMRO, is that we provide unlimited users. We believe that everybody should contribute to the information in the ERP, and that just gives us more accurate information as you are managing your business. On the left side of your screen, you can see that there are other modules that aren't just ProMRO. This is where the rest of your business is being operated, and the very common theme is every screen operates about the same. You've got your header information, like Micah said right here, or showing. You've got all the processes. You click on a button, and then here's the different screens that you can go to. It's designed to be flexible, and it's designed to be set up per user. If you'd like to give them flexibility, they can create their own dashboards to look the way that they want them to look. We're really excited to represent this. We've had a big presence at a lot of the shows recently, and we've really gotten a lot of attention because we do really offer a full package here. And with Acumatica, the way that it's built, if there is something, a feature we don't offer, we more than likely can integrate very simply with a different software vendor if they have a specialty.
And hey, Bob, one more thing. I want to just mention the universal search again, because it's so awesome. And then there's this little question mark here for help. So Acumatica, basically, if you don't know how to use it, you can go to help and it'll tell you how.
Right.
Which is awesome.
And it's also important to note we can have unlimited locations on here as well. If we have different branches or different companies, it's all within one instance. It can be managed, but we can have you log in at a different hangar. And at that point, somebody can be doing work there and we can be tracked separately and then brought together. I'm about out of things to keep talking about unless you want to hear me practice.
Highly unlikely.
You don't want to hear me do my comedy stand-up?
Bob, you never run out of things to talk about.
I know. But I don't see any further questions. Oh wait, enter an invoice and search. Well, we did get a question. How do you search for an invoice in here? Wow.
Actually, you can actually type it in here. I don't know if I have any invoice numbers, but if you type it in here, it can pull anything with like INV. So this is a pro forma invoice for Spirit that has INV, or this is an AR invoice. So you could search it that way, or you can also go to receivables. And so here's the invoice that I just searched through the universal search, or you can go to receivables and go to invoices and memos, and they're all listed here, and you can search it this way as well.
Yeah, everything that's in here is searchable, and that's what this is designed to do, is help you maintain all your data. I like
and
that.
This has a handy side panel too, so you can work on things with your grid view and work on the actual document right here.
Good point. All designed to make work easier and quicker and more accurate, a lot less data entry.
Yeah, and it's so user friendly. I mean, I figured it out pretty quickly, and it's just user friendly. It's a great software. I love it.
So you also have a background in MRO, is that correct, Micah, outside of software?
I actually I used to be customer service manager for an aviation leather supplier. So I come from that side of it, but I also was a buyer for oil and gas. So they're kind of crazy, but basically, yeah, I was a customer service manager for aviation leather, and it was beautiful. I really liked it, but yeah.
But you're familiar with other software, and you can compare your experience there compared to what we're offering.
Yeah. Actually, we did an implementation when I was at the leather supplier of software that was very difficult to use, and I wish we'd have gone with this. It'd be easier.
Very well. I am going to give everybody a little 14-minute bonus to their lunch hour. I don't have much more to add. And like Micah said, I could sit and talk and tell you my opinions about the world, but I won't. I will just give everybody the opportunity to head back to the office. Micah, thank you so much. You did an amazing job in showing so much in such a little short amount of time.
Well, probably people have to, if they get the recording, they're probably going to have to slow it down instead of speeding it up for a change, because I feel like I was talking so fast. Sorry, guys.
Oh, and that's a good point. You brought up one thing I wanted to mention. We are going to post this recording, and hopefully we'll have it up Friday, and we can email it out. If you have a request, go ahead and email it to us, or we'll make it available on our website. But other than that, I'm going to wish everybody a great weekend. Thank you so much, Micah, for your great presentation skills.
Yeah, and if anybody wants a demo that's a deeper dive, I will be happy to help.
There you go. Yes, please reach out to us. And thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a great 3-day weekend if you're eligible for one. And thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.